Tira Rupa Tira So where are we? See? Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Rajajana Yasodanandana Rajajana Yamuna Tira Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Can I please suggest something? Can we again open the windows, please, and then switch off the AC because I'm so sorry, but I really have great problems with the AC. Does someone of you know how to switch it off? Yes? Good. So I would like to chant with you a verse which is a little bit out of the sequence. It's from the 9th canto, chapter 5, verse 15, where Durvasha Muni speaks. I think you all know there was a conflict between Durvasha and Ambarish. And Durvasha came really to test Ambarish, and he did a terrible mistake, so much so that Lord Vishnu was angry at him, and only after he had begged forgiveness from Ambarish, whom he had offended, only then he was forgiven. So what he said after this experience, after doing a mistake, offending Ambarish, and then being forgiven, this is very relevant for our discussion here. As you all know, we are discussing the art of transformation. This will be extra service for you. It's a seminar which belongs together, the various parts. So let us start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Please repeat after me. Dushkara konu sadhunam. Dushyayo va mahatmanam. Dahi sangrihito bhagavan. Sadvatam rishabho hari. Dushkara konu sadhunam. Dushyayo va mahatmanam. Jai sangrihito bhagavan. Satvatam rishabho hari. Yes, someone else, please. Yes, Vaishnavi, please. much. Dushkaraha, difficult to do. Kaha, what? Nu, indeed. Sadhunam, of the devotees. Dushjayaha, impossible to give up. Va, either. Mahatmanam, of the great persons. Yai, by which persons? Sangrihita, achieved by devotional service. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sadvatam, of the pure devotees. Rishabha, the leader. Harihi, the Lord. Good. Yes. For those who have achieved the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of the pure devotees, what is impossible to do and what is impossible to give up? So this is a question. Durvasha says with great astonishment, oh my God, I have seen Ambarish was protected by the Lord. So for those who have achieved the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of the devotees, what is impossible to do and what is impossible to give up? There is no purport to this verse, but I will read you verse 24, where there is a beautiful purport which explains everything. After 1 year, when Durvasa Muni had returned, King Ambarisha sumptuously fed with all varieties of pure food. And then he himself also ate. When the king saw that the Brahmana Durvasha had been released from the great danger of being burned, he could understand that by the grace of the Lord, he himself was also powerful. Ambarish could understand, I'm by the grace of the Lord also powerful, but he did not take any credit, for everything had been done by the Lord. And Prabhupada gives now a very nice purport. When you listen, or if you listen carefully, you will understand this section very nicely. A devotee like Maharaj Ambarisha is certainly always busy in many activities. Of course, this material world is full of dangers that one has to meet. But a devotee, because of his full dependence on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is never disturbed. Never disturbed. The vivid example is Maharaj Ambarisha. He was the emperor of the entire world and had many duties to perform. And in the course of these duties, there were many disturbances created by persons like Durvasa Muni. But the king tolerated everything patiently, depending fully on the mercy of the Lord. The Lord, however, is situated in everyone's heart, and he manages things as he desires. Thus, although Maharaj Ambarisha was faced with many disturbances, the Lord, being merciful to him, managed things so nicely that in the end, Durvasha Muni and Maharaj Ambarisha became great friends and parted cordially on the basis of Bhakti Yoga. After all, Durvasa Muni was convinced of the power of Bhakti Yoga, although he himself was a great mystic yogi. Therefore, as stated by Lord Krishna Bhagavad Gita, Yoginam api sarvesham matgatinantaratmana Shadavam bhajate yomam same yukta tamo matam. Of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga, and he is the highest of all. Thus it is a fact that a devotee is the topmost yogi, as proved in the dealings of Maharaj Ambarisha with Durvasha Muni. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Peshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Sunyavani Askadyane Satarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I would like to give you a little summary where we are at the present moment. This is the second session of our Art of Transformation seminar given in Ljubljana while the world is in chaos. So the transformation is good for us. We were discussing yesterday an observation which I believe every one of us has shared. While it is easy in spiritual life to change one's name, to change one's haircut, one's eating styles, one's dresses, and friends, it is difficult to change the heart. And in genuine spiritual life, we don't look for a surface level transformation of hairstyle and dressing styles. We actually look at deeper transformations, that is the transformation of heart. It's not even a cultural change that we who were Westerners have now become Easterners, no, or Hindus. It's really a change of heart. Now we were hearing from the Hari Bhakti Vilas that just that the process is necessary to effect that, just like an alchemical process can change ordinary iron into pure gold. A person who takes to the process can really develop a gold-like pure heart. Prabhupada says like this. So in our tradition we find, of course, many examples. Remember Dhruva in Madhuban, the prince who wanted to have a whole universe for a kingdom, really, how he became desireless. Remember Prakashananda in Sarasvati in Varanasi. He had, a Mayavadi conception of the Lord, but this was changed, it was transformed. He became a devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or remember Jaya and Madai and the prostitute in Chaitanya Leela, or even Pingala in the 11th canto. Transformation is possible, but you need a dynamic which work on you, a powerful, strong dynamics or agents of change. And we found out what this is in our Gaudiya line. It's a Urva Punja, the spiritual school, which is given in our Sampradaya. It is marked by an external sign, a particular tilak. It's with tapas, you have to perform some austerity. But be careful here. The intensity which you use has to fit to your personality. If you do austerities for which you are not, which are not meant for you, then you will lack consistency. Therefore, it's very important that you practice a lot before you give the promise, the vow to chant 16 rounds a day. In our congregation, we don't demand this. We say, if you're a congregational devotee, you can chant 4 rounds, 8 rounds, 12 rounds, what is possible for you. But once you are initiated, it is assumed that the intensity of the practice is appropriate to your personality. You have changed so much already that it's not difficult for you, but it's easy. Intensity with consistency, my dear devotees, affects these amazing changes. Intensity with consistency. The Bhagavatam says, Tivrena Bhakti Yogina. Tivrena, that is the practice of Bhakti Yoga, that is Tivra, means intense or strong. That can purify a materialist. Someone who is in of the heart is possible. But I took another agent, and which we will look at today when we come to a movement, spiritual, genuine spiritual movement. We suffer from avidya. This is often translated as ignorance, but what it means particularly of a subject like geology or so. It is avidya means particularly the ignorance of who you are. You don't know any longer that you are the eternal self. And this leads to asmita, or misidentification, or we often say false ego. Jayadvaita Maharaj, who amongst knowing Prabhupada's books, very good, and he quoted, one of us, I'm American, sannyas is how we like to carry a scourge, the way we perceive ourselves, and we want others to be perceived. And my dear devotees, this false ego, as I wanted to say, is strong. Bhakti or Krishna consciousness, however, give up this identity kit, this designation, these labels on your personality. In the second canto, Srila Prabhupada says, Bhakti starts, or Krishna consciousness starts, when you understand, I'm not the body, I'm an eternal soul. you know. This is not so easy to understand. Who told me that when in 9/11 the American in New York, we Americans stand for democracy. And he noticed, we Americans? Oh, oops. I'm not this. I'm not an American. In Vrindavan, there was a problem also of a devotee from Russia, because, and saying, you people from Putin, you have attacked us. And wait a minute, we are not Russian. Spirit touches matter. And it is here where a knot is formed, a knot which is more dangerous than the tumor knots or anything. It binds the eternal, the spiritual soul, which is full of Ananda, to a situation that is near Ananda, without bliss. It is binding the soul, who's full of knowledge, to a situation which is full of ignorance. And in this way, we lose our identity. In yoga, all forms of yoga, our yoga is Bhakti yoga. We want to cut this knot in the heart. In the Bhagavatam, in the second chapter, it is this knot is Hridaya Grantis, Sarva Samshaya Chityante, what was Chityante, something cutting the Hridaya Grantis, the knot in the heart. This is necessary for genuine spiritual life. So by Srila Prabhupada in his Bhagavatam purpose, they are it is said that there are 3 things which can help you to cut these or remove these old, let us say, the results of the false ego, you know, avidya, asmita, ignorance, ego, attachment, hatred, and abhinivesha means clinging to life and or absorption in material life. No? There are 3 things which can help you. One is tapas, that is self-discipline. The second is svadhyaya, study, which brings you knowledge and inspiration. And also, they say, japa is part of svadhyaya. That's a different perspective. And then Ishvara-pranidhana, which means surrender to the Supreme Lord. These 3 things help a person to remove or transform his heart and make it free from all these these illusions which are in there. Self-discipline, we talked a little bit about it. You have to be careful that you do choose a discipline which is not too intense nor too little intense, so that you can do it with consistency. This is compared with shaking a cloth which has dust. When you perform self-discipline, it's like the effort to, you know, maybe when you get up from your resting place, you shake your sleeping bag so that fresh air comes in, and if there was any dirt, maybe we were camping outside and there is some dirt and then you shake it. You can be very, you can be a little successful from removing the dirt by this process. But what do you do with the deep stains? What is stains in Slovenian language? Yes, please speak loud this word. Yeah, it's really the deep dirt, like for instance blood stains, or if you go and fill gas in your car, then there's oil, there's dirt, you know, it really sticks. You can't just shake it out. So we have some contaminations, my dear devotees, which are very difficult to remove. We have heard the yogis do a lot of self-discipline, but it doesn't help them to remove all attachments from the heart. For instance, the attachment to name, fame and glory, or the attachment for the opposite gender, very strong. Vishwamitra's life shows us, yes. Or what is this yogi in the Bhagavatam? Sobari, yes, is his name Sobari, who was meditating. Subari. Sobari. Muni. He was trying to, by this disciplined action, remove the dirty things in the heart, but he was not successful. So therefore the scriptures say you must not only practice self-discipline, you have to have svadhyaya, which is study and also spiritual practice in some traditions. This is compared with washing the cloth. But imagine, I mean, I don't have stains in this dhoti, but I have stains in my other dhoti. Whoa! I have washed it. And the only way to get free from these stains is to burn the cloth. Then it's gone. Otherwise it's not good. So there are some impurities which are very strong. But they can only be removed by Ishvara-pranidhana, or surrender to Krishna, or let us speak by Bhakti Yoga. No? The Ishvara-pranidhana describes a prayer of a dying man who at the moment of death prays something to Krishna, hoping that Krishna will burn his impurities and he will go back to Godhead. This is what he says. I have it only in English for you, but I think you don't understand Sanskrit word by word, so I will immediately go to English. Oh my Lord! Oh my Gospodin, yes. Oh my Lord! The dying man is, imagine he's lying there. The drums of death are coming closer. Boom, 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 boom. Oh my Lord! As powerful as the fire. O omnipotent one, I offer you all obeisances, falling on the ground at your feet. O my Lord, please, you lead me on the right path to reach you. And since you know all that I have done in the past, please free me from the reactions to my past sins, so that there will be no hindrance to my progress. So, yes, that's a very moving prayer, isn't it? If you want to read it in your own reading time, it's in the Ishvara-pranidhana, verse 18. You can also, when you are asked to visit a hospital where someone dies and you are asked to help them to orient their consciousness, you can read this verse to them. Oh my Lord, as powerful as fire, please lead me on the right path to what I've done in the past. Please free me from the reactions to my past sins. The Lord can do that. He can take His mercy because He is as powerful as fire, and He can change the impure heart of the conditioned soul, which is still filled with the problems of material, the kleshas they are called, ignorance and attachment and all these things, and the reactions to these ignorant activities. The Lord, by His mercy, can burn the cloth, and even the deepest stains can go out. But the yogi tries by self-discipline, is only as efficient as, shaking the cloth so that the dust or maybe some dry grass or anything falls out. What you can do with study of the scriptures and japa also is like all the food. It's unnecessary things which are eliminated by the elimination process, but it keeps the minerals, the good things, which are necessary. Do you understand? So in the same way, Bhakti doesn't make a person mindless and foolish and unaware and unconscious and so on. That would be sad. Then we truly would be a sect which destroys your personality and everything. No, Bhakti burns your subtle body in your impure mind, the impurities in the mind and the intelligence, and the body is changed. You do not see yourself as you see the Lord in the heart. And when your subtle body is Bhakti is burned, you don't see the world. You have gone through security. Even a Harry Potter shop. Everything is there. There's great things for enjoyment. Whiskey, not that Russian whiskey, the real stuff from Scotland. There is cigarettes, there is chocolate, blah. There is, what is there? I have not seen everything is there, and is there. And when Gokrishna and me, we have traveled a lot, maybe. When Gokrishna and me, we have traveled a lot, maybe. I don't know, we have traveled through 1,000 airports this summer. We always go through this, and we objects to enjoy. You must desires. Like when I was in London, I went into the Harry Potter shop and thought maybe there's something for my deities, but there were only. When the consciousness is, when the subtle body, the mind is purified. You can read this if you like to study. Yes.
say that after many years of like trying, it's looking like impossible to change my conditional nature. But somehow you said one time, like there are two ways how transformation can happen. Like one way is